So back on October 9th, I was working on a house and happened to notice in the backyard they had an old golf cart. It was kind of neglected, been sitting in the backyard for a couple years, hadn't been started, kind of covered with mold, moss, and asked them if they'd be willing to sell it, and they said they would. So they ended up bringing it home, and this is what I did. Before the restoration began, though, my family decided they would go out and play in the yard a little bit. The dogs loved it, so once everybody got done having a little bit of fun, we took it into the garage. I cleaned it up and got ready for some disassembly. Time to turn this thing into a little mini Jeep. For the record, I don't think I had any idea what I was getting myself into. I have never done anything fiberglass or even drove a golf cart in my life. Well, I'm a carpenter, so the first thing I did was break out the foam insulation board because that's what I know, and I kind of got a rough shape of what I wanted the front end to look like. After doing a little research, I found out that the foam that I used could not be used with fiberglass unless you put something between it. And one of the best things that you can use is this foil tape like you use on ductwork. So that's what I did, and it actually worked out really well. Next step was fiberglass, something I'd never done before. I got some fiberglass chopped strand mat from Amazon, and I got some Bondo brand fiberglass resin from Menards, and mixed it all up and put a few coats on there. I think I put 2 thick coats of mat and resin, and this is what it looked like. Here I'm showing the wood that I put underneath. I epoxied this to the fiberglass, and then I was able to mount that to the old hood of the golf cart. Made it real solid. After sanding the fiberglass down really well, I put on some Bondo, regular auto body filler, and sanded on that. Worked on that for a while. Well, I'm human. I messed up a little bit. This side had a flare to it, looked like a bell-bottom jean, and that didn't look right. The other side didn't look the same, so I split it and I re-fiberglassed it, and then I had to Bondo over again, and it looked better the second time. Next came the part I hated the most. It was putty sand, putty sand, putty sand. I'm pretty sure that I sanded off every bit as much putty as I put on. I wanted to try to get it as smooth as possible and mold it so that it had nice curves and no sharp edges. So I worked on this a long time. But I think it turned out okay. There was no back seat on this cart. It had the golf bag with a little basket on the back, and we wanted to put a back seat on it. I ordered one of those off of eBay and had to do a little modification to make the roof go back on, but it all worked out okay. The glove box area was kind of the color of the outside of the golf cart. It was green and slimy and nasty, so I cleaned it up best I could, and I used some truck bed liner, the gritty texture, and it looks really cool on there, I think. Also did the floorboard area. I primed all the plastic parts with white Krylon primer. It was just rattle can, and then I sprayed with an air compressor and sprayed the red primer that you see on here. It looks kind of brown. Finally, after a couple of months, I was ready to start the paint. What I did is I went on the cheap. I got farm paint from Menards and mixed it with mineral spirits and sprayed it with my spray gun. I think it turned out okay, though. For a $20 paint job, I think it turned out okay. What do you think? Got Pam a steering wheel for her birthday, and then I started to wire things up. Had to do the lights. I had to do brake lights, tail lights, turn signals. Painted the roof flat black. Got it put back on. Put seat covers on. Starting to come together now. To make it street legal, you have to have brake lights, turn signals, tail lights, a whole bunch of other things, reflectors on the back. There's a lot to the wiring on one of these. More to it than I really thought there would be, but it all worked out. Next, we added new wheels and some hubcaps, and then worked on the grill. It's just some black vinyl behind some 3D printed trim pieces that I printed out. Here it is all done. Hope you enjoyed the video. I think we're going to have a lot of fun with it. And thanks for watching, everybody.